Hi, peeps. Welcome to your fourth lesson in week 4. Today is Thursday, April 23rd. So I just want you to take a look at the agenda. I am going to switch it up a little bit today for the purposes of getting no red ink out of the way and making sure your what, why, and how makes sense. So your agenda today, I want you to do some no red ink. You are going to have a quiz next week on verb tenses, so make sure that you are prepared for that. After you do your no red ink, we're going to go through our what, why, and how, and then we are going to talk about visual representations during the stay-at-home order. So, no red ink, verb tenses. Look at how pretty this background is. Go ahead and set your timer. Remember, you should be getting through those lessons. If it's taking you a little bit of extra time, that's okay. You just need to get through those so that you are prepared for your quiz. So, our what, why, and how. What are we doing today? We are going to do what is called a visual representation. So, you all have been experiencing this stay-at-home order that has been experienced by Wisconsinites, right? It has been experienced by people in our country, but we're going to focus specifically on Wisconsin, and you're going to focus specifically on yourselves. So you have been told, right, that you need to stay at home as much as possible. You can't go shopping, right, because shopping malls and shopping centers are closed. You can't go to parks. You can't be in groups that are larger than a certain number, right? Basically, stay at home, stay safe, sanitize, wash your hands, wear face masks, use gloves, the whole shebang, right? Only leave your house if you need to. And life is really different, right? This is a historic event that you all are never going to forget. This is something that is really going to change our history. Mr. DeStefano said earlier today, this is going to be one of those years where not a lot happens. The year just kind of stopped, right? That's how I feel, especially. If you guys remember, I had to take my dog to the vet on the last Friday that we actually did have school. So I had school with you all on Thursday, and I had no idea I wasn't gonna see you again in class, right? It just kind of stopped. And that's a whole nother conversation about how sad I am about that. But we just didn't know, right? Everything's just kind of on hold, and it's this period of uncertainty. And this is something that hasn't really happened in a long time, right? We had the Spanish flu, we had the plague, all these different diseases that spread through rapidly and killed people. And that's kind of what's happening with the coronavirus. And we're trying to prevent that by staying inside. And so the way that people are living during this period of time is really unique. And the Wisconsin Historical Society has called for accounts, right, or memories that people have, journals that people have of their experience during this time in quarantine, because it's so different. It hopefully will never happen again, but it's been so long since the last time that it happened. And actually, the last time that the Wisconsin Historical Society did this, it was during the Civil War, when the soldiers were staying in Camp Randall, right? So you all know Camp Randall, jump around, right? Wisconsin Badgers. There was a period of time in our history when that was a space to house soldiers during the Civil War. That is something that has never happened again since. It didn't happen before then. And it was so unique in our nation's history, right? And particularly in our state's history, that the Wisconsin Historical Society asked people to journal what their experience was like, to include pictures, to include interviews, all that kind of stuff, so that we have a better picture of what life was like during that period of time. So we all, by we all, I mean your teachers, want you to start thinking about, in 100 years, how are you going to look back on this period of time? How are your children going to look back on this period of time? How can you help paint a picture of what happened in history? even though it doesn't feel like history, it's the present, okay? So to help you start thinking about organizing your thoughts, we are gonna do a visual representation of your time in quarantine. So at the end of class today, you're gonna submit a visual representation, and I'll show you what that's gonna look like. So these are the directions that you're given, and I will show you the assignment in a second, but you are going to insert 8 to 12 pictures that represent your time in quarantine. So they can be your own photos, they can be online stock photos, right? So pictures that are online that you find that help you to describe your experience, or they can be a mix of both. And you can feel free to add captions or an explanation, but you don't need to. The only requirement is the 8 to 12 images. Okay. And I love this idea that a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? A complex idea can be conveyed with just a single image. You all are experiencing really complex and really different situations, and the photos that you share are going to help you to be able to explain how your lives are different during this period of time. So this is what your assignment actually looks like. Okay, it says on March 23rd, 2020, Governor Evers announced that he would release the stay-at-home order for the state of Wisconsin the following day in response to the spread of COVID-19. The stay-at-home order encouraged young and old, healthy and ill, rich and poor to stay home and slow the spread of this deadly disease. Okay, I wrote that part. So these are the directions I gave you to create a visual representation. So in this box below that Miss Linda Muth has made for you, you are able to insert photos, right? So, insert image. It can be from any of these different places. You can take pictures of yourself on your Chromebook if you need one, like, to show the space where you're working, all that kind of stuff. Maybe you have photos in your Drive. Maybe you want to text your email pictures and you want to upload them to your computer. That's all fine. Okay, so here's my, oh, wait. I made a cute little slide for this. Hold on, I got to show you my slide. Wait. Not ready yet. Miss Kelty, visual representation of life during the stay-at-home order. It's got like a ring to it. Also, I just really like this slide, so you had to see this slide, okay? So here is my example, and it has all the same stuff on the top, and then I'm going to show you my pictures. So this right here, on the top part, I chose to do mine a little bit differently. The top part of mine is what I'm experiencing during quarantine. The bottom part is what I'm missing about not being in quarantine. So I chose to focus on what school looks like. So this is a picture I took of all of our staff in our last staff meeting, right? So you can see there's Mr. Skoma. Who can I tell from here? There's Miss Bowser's little icon, right? There's Miss Vesey. There's Mr. Hankus. There's Mr. Wood. There's Mrs. Brennan, right? Everybody's there. Oh, there's Miss Linda Muth, my girl. All the people, right? This is how I see everybody now. Oh, there's Miss Klug. There's Miss Loudy. Anyways, I also put on here FaceTime because Miss Linda Muth and I, as we are making your assignments and adjusting and adapting, and also when we're talking about the funky videos that we post and talk about in your classrooms, we FaceTime each other. So we FaceTime and we talk about different changes we want to make or different conversations we're having with you guys. We even FaceTime and talk about how your assignments are going. If you look here, I was trying to get a nice photo, right? I kind of got an okay one. I was FaceTiming Miss Linda Muth, and I was trying to get a picture with both my cats, right? There's Gandalf. And poor Madam was just sitting there trying to take the picture, and Gandalf was being all squirmy and kicking and pushing me and the whole shebang, and Miss Linda Muth was making me laugh, right? And then finally, Madam and I just took a picture together, even though she looked super annoyed, right? So most of my life right now in quarantine is dealing with my cats being obnoxious and climbing across my keyboard and all that kind of stuff. So I included that in there. Then I included some pictures of things that I'm missing, right? So I'm missing recess duty and pajama day and my peeps, right? I'm missing hanging out with Miss Linda Muth and doing recess duty and like seeing her in person, right? I'm missing doing conferences with students. I'm not missing hoods up in class, but I'm missing my classroom. Okay. So this is what your visual representation is kind of going to look like. I have the bare minimum, right? I have 8 pictures. And then I explained them to you. So you guys kind of have an idea. I did the top part is what I'm experiencing, the bottom part is what I'm missing. If I were going to go back and do this again, I might add, what I am missing during quarantine. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Quarantine. ... And then up here, I might put what I am experiencing during quarantine. Man, again, I don't know why I keep missing that N. Okay, so I put a little sentence. You don't have to do that, right? But that's a way that you can sort of explain yourself as well. So this is what you are going to turn in at the end of class today. And, you might go totally crazy and make a collage and have it be a whole big thing and it's 100 pictures. I'm not tech savvy enough to do that, but it is totally up to you. Okay? Happy Thursday, peeps. I will see you tomorrow.